starting soon. Just make sure we are live everywhere. To you.
I gotta take all this Christmas stuff. I don't want to.
Yeah, we had to take ours down a little early due to what we got ourselves for Christmas.
Oh.
Huh. Okay. I didn't notice that. Apparently my Twitch channel's up to 41 followers.
Hey.
It's something.
Let's go. Hey, get new.
Last time I looked, it was like 20 something. But I don't really pay that much attention to Twitch.
Yeah. What's up?
Gotta back his mic up a bit here. I keep hearing myself breathe into it. Get up in here all Darth Vader like. Let's see.
All right. My it's a lot of moving parts right now. I'll tell you all in a bit when we go into the when we go into the what y'all been doing. So.
Oh.
Oh. At least you weren't screaming at me. No.
Huh?
Getting on. I got your text about Wild. Where you at? I'm like, yeah.
He was logging in that moment.
Oh no, yeah, I literally was sitting right here, and I just clicked the button and I got the text message, and I was like, "Oh snap!"
Anytime I do that, I'm just giving you guys a hard time, and I'm not actually like when it's like 20 after, then I'm giving you a hard time.
Yo, Salas, that's cool. That's a cool ass shirt, man. Does that say Tat Man?
Yeah, that's where I go get my tattoos at.
Oh, okay, that's what's up.
Oh, nice. I like that.
Yo, I see the chemical makeup you have on your arm. That's pretty cool. People
that
so like my tattoo.
Trying to get
people
this damn thing to stay right here.
People like think
that's
people think that's what it's on my arm all the time. They're just like, oh, what
Yeah.
what chemical or formula is that? I'm like, no, it's a suit of armor. Oh, is it a beehive? No, it's just hexagon shapes. Doesn't mean it has to be a beehive.
All right, and we are live. All right, hello everybody. Welcome to Griffcast Episode 29, the mature nerdy podcast for immature people. I am your host Griff Moore. We've got the full crew with us here tonight. Let's get into this. How's everybody been doing? Did everybody have a good holiday?
No, not good.
I can't complain.
I can complain a lot, but we'll.
Oh.
I'm just not ready to take down the Christmas decorations.
You got a week leeway after New Year's, and then
Yeah. I mean, it's only the second. I'm straight.
Everyone have a good holiday. Does everybody here celebrate
No.
Christmas?
Oh,
I
Yeah.
mean, for the most part.
yeah.
I'm not full traditional myself. My wife and her family are. So that makes me a little bit more traditional. But yeah, so everybody have a good holiday. For everybody who was wondering where we were all last week, it was holidays, and I wasn't going to be, getting home at 11 o'clock at night on Christmas Day to turn around and get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to come back and do this.
Yeah,
Mm.
I absolutely get it.
Yeah.
But Christmas was good. Kids got way too many toys. Like I was on pretty much put together mode. Everybody came to me, hey, go to Uncle Drew, he'll put it together. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna start charging people now.
Yeah.
$10 per toy depending on size. And you also got to include tips, so that's another $5 to $10 tip.
Mm-hmm. Lego sets and Doc McStuffins, Doctor stations, and
You offer discounts for multiple toys. Three more
no.
toys get 10% off.
No bundles and no friends and family discount either.
yeah, and
They had a good Christmas though. They had a good Christmas. And then New Year's, like, ain't gonna lie, it was a struggle. It was a struggle for 12 o'clock. I ain't going front. I was sitting there and I was like, okay, yeah. How much? Oh, God, we got an hour? I don't know if I'm gonna make it.
yeah, no, I didn't even bother. I worked all through the weekend, so no, it just wasn't gonna happen.
Yeah, I had a pretty terrible experience over the last couple weeks.
Yeah.
Yep, just good. Almost made it, man. I mean, we're not anywhere near out of the tunnel, when it comes to the pandemic. But 2 years, I almost made it. Almost got away. Then all of a sudden, the Rona was just like, "Got you, bitch," and I was like, "Fuck."
What?
So yeah, I'm just getting over COVID.
What?
Oh,
What?
Yeah. It was good.
Yeah, okay. It's getting a little too close to home now.
It was close, man. I'm like, I'm gonna make it. And then a buddy called me. He's just like, "Yo, by the way, I tested positive." I was like, "Damn it, man! I saw you last night." And he's like, "Yeah, good luck." And I was like, "All right, fine." And then several days
Good luck.
several days later, I'm like,
this is
shit.
why you don't kiss the homies goodnight. All right.
I know,
You
right?
know what?
We were sharing beers and everything. I was like, no, but yeah. So that got me. It was like I started coming down with symptoms like on Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve was just like I couldn't even move. I'm glad we canceled the show, that Sunday because I could not move. I was not doing good. I was gonna call out anyway. And then
You didn't have to play sick. He actually was sick.
yeah, man, it was not good. I mean, I had a moment though. There was a moment where like all my sicknesses went away because before I got COVID, I think I sent y'all pictures. I rebuilt the PC, bought a new tower, big ass tower. God, it's a mammoth. It's huge. I did not I was ordering it and like they're like shipping me like the shipment information and everything. And like your package is 30 pounds. I'm like, the fuck it is 30 pounds. It's just a computer case. And I picked that bitch up. I was like, oh shit, this thing is fucking heavy.
Yeah.
It's just huge.
Yeah, I was looking at one because I got the fever now, and so I'm just like, gosh, I need to make some money. But yeah, I got the fever now, and so I started looking at cases and like doing little builds and what can I get away with, what can I push towards, and what are dollar limits and things like that. And I was looking at this one case, and I'm just like, this thing's a beast. Like the measurements were like, it was probably a good solid like 2'2" on squared, and like I looked at the weight and it was 45 pounds.
45 pounds.
I mean, this thing
That's just for the
30
case?
pounds.
Yeah.
After I put everything in it, like 'cause I had to put more fans in it. I got this. Oh, the CPU cooler I got. I can't pronounce it. It's a Corsair. It's the only 420 millimeter radiator I could find. It's three 140 fans. It's just massive. And that thing's a heavy little pitch too.
Yeah.
But
That's one thing I'm currently really glad about my current tower, because I think it's 23 inches by 25 inches, and like fully loaded in. It's about a good solid 45, 50 pounds, and so it's got these big old carrying handles on the top, and I'm just like, yep.
No carrying handles. It was not.
I was about to ask if it had carrying handles to it.
No. Things here, man. Like I put it back like to where the other, like I had to buy like a new stand for it too. So like the old tower I have like I don't have enough desk space, so sadly enough it sits on the floor, but I bought like a little stand for it. So it doesn't sit on the floor. So I had to buy a new stand, because like as soon as I saw the measurements for the case, I'm like, that thing is not fitting on this. Not even close. And so like I have it in the same spot, and I feel like every time I catch it out of the corner of my eye, I feel like there's like a fucking bear right there, because it's just so. It's a mammoth. I want to like take more comparison pictures, like because I still have the old case, and put them like side by side. But I also do not want to move this fucking thing. I don't want to take the time to unplug it and lift it and pull it out. It's just.
Yeah, like after I did like a full what was it? It was Sunday before last, so 2 weeks ago. Or Saturday before last. I got this, like I was sitting here at my desk, I'm just like, I have got to do some cable management. And I went through, like I went down to like not Lowe's, the other one.
Home Depot.
Went down to Home Depot, and I got all kinds of I got me like this giant massive surge protector that can be wall mounted, and it's mounted to the back of my desk, and like I got everything running pretty good. I think there's only, so I got 4 visible wires outside of the plugs coming off the PlayStation, and that's just because I can't get away from seeing them because they're monitor cables. Yeah, I got all the wires off my floor except for one, which is the power cable for my subwoofer. Now I've got this urge, like I keep looking at my PC going, that could look so much better.
Oh yeah, I definitely took the time to do the cable management in the PC. Right? Because I didn't do that the first time. I was just like, let me just get this shit together and make sure it turns on and works. I'm like, oh, it turns on and works. Well, I'm not gonna rearrange it now. Fuck that shit.
That's kind of what I did. I'm just like, yeah, that's kind of what I did. I'm just like, all right, does this look at least decent? I'm like, yeah, okay, I could stand looking at this. Now I'm like, I've been watching a bunch of like Jay's 2 Cents and all that. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that channel. All he does is just build PCs. He's kind of like Linus Tech Tips, but better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just like he does like all these videos, like this is how I do cable management. I'm like watching that, and like I probably watched him for like 20 hours in the last couple of weeks. I'm just like, oh, now I got a fever. I need to do this. Started looking at like, all right, so how much would it cost to build a new computer? No, wife will hang me. How much would it cost to just upgrade the one I have to, the one I have to, what I want? No, wife would still kill me.
There's only one cable that I can't get past, and that's the cable for the video card. That's the only one I can't. That's the only cable that's visible. All the other cables are Velcro stripped and tucked in behind everything.
I think the only way to really get away with the VGA cable is to do a vertical mount and then tuck behind and go underneath.
Yeah, that's the thing. My case can't support a vertical mount. That's the only issue that I have with it. Other than that, I love the case.
Yeah. But all right, let's get into the actual topics tonight. All right, here. So this first one's kind of interesting. So Sony has filed a patent, and what the patent looks like is that they're going to be putting in haptic learning for the PS5 DualSense. This is actually kind of cool. I kind of like this. I just hope they make better controllers.
What does that really consist of, though?
So
what kind of learning is that?
It's all kinds. So it's to get around game developers who decide we're just not going to use the haptic system. So it'll learn what you do and how you play, and it'll adjust the haptics according to what's going on in the game.
Okay.
So, you know, one thing I'm kind of worried about is like, what kind of memory is that going to eat up on the PS5? Or is this going to be like a PS5 thing? Because I mean, that's not easy computing, you know?
Right.
Hopefully that's just like a cloud thing.
So when I hear haptic, I'm
not sure how that would work, but
I'm mostly thinking about their rumble system, because they're calling it the haptic feedback and so on and so forth. Okay. So like how is that gonna take learning? I mean, I guess we'll have to see their showcase for it.
One of the examples that one of the articles I read used was like, if you go back and you play what was it was an old racing game. It was like one of the Need for Speeds from the PlayStation 2 era. If you go on PlayStation now, download it and play it, the haptic system will learn when you take like hard right turns, and will adjust the haptic so you feel a hard right turn through the haptic system.
Okay, so you're talking about the game will be able to learn what haptic signals to send to the controller for games that don't support the haptic system already.
Right. So, or it will actually make up its own.
Okay, more like aimed at like legacy games that don't, currently support it. Okay.
So, and it'll also be for new games, so that, if a developer's like, I just don't have the time to input into that because I barely have enough time to make the bloody game.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be. It's kind of cool, It
also sounds decently expensive for my controllers now.
Yeah, that's another thing. It's like, if you're going to implement something like this, then make a better controller. For the love of God, please.
I'm not mad at the controllers at all, man. Their controllers are pretty good. There's nothing wrong with these.
Yeah, you haven't.
You don't like them? I'm sorry.
I do.
Griff has been talking about it for a while. He hates them.
You don't take care of your stuff?
I do. Like, I've even gone down to like a special stand, so when they're not in use, they're not being beat up anywhere. Like, I'm just like, I'm on my third and fourth one. Like, in a year, and I'm not rough on them, man. I am not. Like, I've got big, massive man hands, but
I remember you telling me that you were having troubles with them. You didn't like them. Like, am I just babying these? Granted, I'm probably not playing PlayStation as much as I used to in the past because PC has taken over my life.
Yeah.
But I have 4 controllers, not, because I need that many controllers. Just, I happen to have 4 controllers, but all of them are just flawless. Perfect.
So, like, I got the black one and the pink one.
No, you can't say pink. It's red. It's red because they are coming out. It's crimson red. They are coming out with a pink, so you can say pink when they release the pink.
But it's like I still got my my Series X controllers, and so far they're still flawless. So then again, I've probably put 1,000 hours on the PlayStation, and about 600 hours on the Xbox. But whenever I play a PC game. Whenever I play a PC game, I use the Xbox controller. So there's a lot more time on the controllers than whatever I spend on the Xbox. So like, I do like this. I like, new innovation, new technology, give, consumers something new to strive for and something new to use. Absolutely 100% on board with that. Like I said, I may have just gotten 2 dud controllers because I got, one out of the box and one that came out that you could buy before you could get a PS5. So they just may have been duds. And my luck, if I'm going to get duds, I'm going to get a chain of them before I get a good one. It's either I get one controller that'll last me 7 years, or I'll get a chain of them that are just garbage.
I understand exactly how you feel because that's exactly my kind of luck.
It's one extreme or the other, Yep.
I mean, I've friggin' accidentally like dropped like my Elite controller. Dropped it. at least I would say not very many. I think maybe like twice. Every other time I've like hacky sacked the crap out of it. I'm like, oh no. Like stick a foot underneath of it really quick.
Yeah.
You gotta understand, like I hate when stuff falls. So if I'm close by, I'll pull a muscle trying to hacky sack this bad boy out.
All right.
And I've done it so many times and it's been good. So
All right. So
but
I
it
should
sounds
have
like a
done
cool
this.
feature.
Yeah, it does. It does. Like, I'm looking forward to seeing what happens with this. I mean, this probably, this won't be something that happens until the PS6. So, but it's cool that they have it in, up in line for something in the future. All right. So I should have said this at the beginning of the show. Tonight's show is actually going to be a little bit more topical. We're going to have actually more conversation based on theoretical ideas and conversations. We're still going to have a couple of news segments here in the front, and then we'll get into the topics. All right. So this next one, I'm kind of curious about because, I'm a big proponent of more competition in the market means better products for the consumers. So Intel's new Arc GPUs, they're still talking about having I think a March release date of next year, even amongst the chip shortage. And what was it? Their first run should be equivalent to the 3070. So their first card should be equivalent to a 3070. I haven't heard price point yet. Knowing Intel, might be a little high. And it could be down mid tier, depending. Because I don't know if this is something a scalper is going to be chasing down or not. So, but
it wouldn't surprise me. It honestly wouldn't surprise me.
It wouldn't. Yeah, especially
buy them all up. New video card.
Yeah, I imagine scalpers
all over it.
Scalpers will go after it, especially when it first launches, just like they did with the, with the Radeon 2s, RDNA 2s. They probably didn't go after them as much anymore, and they're a little bit easier to find. But when they first dropped, everyone was after those.
Yeah,
just trying to get a graphics card. And I imagine it's going to be the same thing with Intel. But like when it comes to their pricing point, and their competitiveness for performance.
Yeah, because I foresee them, if this first run of cards is successful, of them pushing the boundaries and trying to keep up with, NVIDIA and AMD.
Yeah, I don't know if they say they're going to they're shooting for a 3070 performance. I don't know if they'll be able to keep up with NVIDIA. I imagine they'd be able to keep up with AMD. If they're able to, provide the resources that they need. Yeah, and then I would like to see that battle, because then I always forget the terminology, but for the AMD, I'm just calling it AMD sync, for when you have an AMD CPU and you have an AMD graphics card, I can see Intel, doing
FTS
the same thing
or something like that. Yeah,
FSR.
That's it.
No,
I think so.
I don't think it's FSR, because FSR is their DLSS.
Yeah, is that not what you're talking about? Because that's going to be part. Oh, I know what you're talking about. The AMD sync. Okay, the compatibility between the graphics card and the processor.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I could totally see Intel doing something like that. I mean, it is great technology if you can, and it promotes brand loyalty amongst, your PC build. I've been looking around. I really like IQ software for my RGB. I like RGB. So, and IQ software is the most intuitive, in my opinion, when it comes to ease of use, things like that. So
I had to get into IQ too, because of the new CPU core, and it did fucking everything. I didn't imagine that it took over my motherboard, it took over my PSU, and it took over fucking everything. I was like, shit.
So
I was well played.
That's how awesome IQ is.
As long
IQ,
as
even though my motherboard is different, it took over the RGB on my motherboard. Everything, and I'm almost like, that's what you call ease of access right there.
Yeah, as long as it's compatible hardware, it'll run it. My RAM is not compatible with it, so I have to run 2 programs to run my RGB. My fans, my fans, my CPU cooler, my keyboard, my mouse, all of that is iQOO, but I have to run another one for my RAM because I got that G-Skill Trident with the big strip down the back of it.
I'm honestly not a huge fan of RGB. I wish I could do without it, but because I am bougie, I go after the more top tier of components, and of course those things always come with RGB.
Yeah.
So
I typically I'll theme out. Like I'll have a background and have everything just like one solid color and just run with it. And it's typically like a red or an orange or something like that. I had it all green, but it doesn't look good on the camera. So
yeah. Green is hot. Yeah, I've mostly just been like quickly finding breathe pattern, red and black, and then just forgetting about it, and then just like, and now I'm done with RGB for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Until I get something new, then I need to set that.
All right. So this next one makes me feel good, but at the same time, I will reinstate that I hope I'm wrong. All right. So Star Wars Eclipse is now estimated to launch in 2027. This has been
that's a long time.
Yeah.
Long time,
right? It's already been in development for 18 months, and people are ticked because they don't have anything playable. So so this is going to be this. I forgot the name of the company. I should have wrote that down in the notes. But the company making it, this was going to be their first open world game. They typically do very linear, very point and click adventure games.
Quantic Dream.
Yeah, that's it. And so this was going to be their big first open world multiplayer sandbox game. And they have been spending more time doing damage control for publicity than they have actually been developing this game.
I remember we were talking about it when it was first announced. We weren't quite sure what type of game it was going to be.
Yeah. So it actually came out that what type of game it's supposed to be. The problem is that Arctic Dream doesn't have the rights to use any of the major engines. So they don't have rights to Frostbite or Unreal or anything like that. And so they're trying to skirt around and trying to find a way to come up with the equity to get an actual, software to actually build this game with.
Well, that's probably why it's going to take so long, because they're still not yet. They still haven't probably found one. There's like, let's give ourselves a little bit of breathing room to find something, just so that we make sure to get it right.
Yeah. I have a feeling this is going to end up like 1313. It's going to be canceled before it gets a release date.
I have a feeling you're probably right.
So
I would not disagree.
Because it wouldn't be the first. It won't be the last.
Yeah. Like, it's either going to be that or it's going to be a game we see in, 5 years. And
yeah, if you're talking about coming out in 5 years, that's a
hell of an announcement time.
Right? I was mad for like The Last of Us 2. They announced that like 3 years before it came out. I was like, that's a bold move, man.
Yeah. They announced Diablo 4.
They may as well have said nothing.
Yeah. They announced Diablo 4 3 years ago. And they just took it back to alpha.
Oof.
So
yeah, that's not coming up.
Like they're doing like full rebuilds of the entire core system and just like all right, just make sure it's good. It's like
I think it needs to be a year and a half. You cannot announce a game if it's not coming out.
When it comes to that game, they got no choice but to make sure it's good.
Yeah. Like I have a feeling Diablo 4 is going to be Blizzard's Hail Mary, because it's the only new IP. Well, it's not even a new IP. It's the only new game they have coming out. So
I mean,
not-
because what besides World of Warcraft, that's
Yeah, and
pretty
people
much
are
going to be the next thing.
people are leaving World of Warcraft in droves. They're probably at an all-time low player base.
Wow. I never thought that would happen.
That's what
Yeah,
happens
especially
when,
World of Warcraft.
that's what happens when you partner with Activision.
Oof.
And we already know where Activision's going. They ain't going anywhere good.
Yeah.
Mm.
Like the shareholders for Activision Blizzard cannot be happy with anything going on with the company right now.
There's
Like,
no way. Mm.
So
But as long as they pocket's still fat, though,
yeah, that's about it.
Yeah.
that's all I'm gonna say about that one.
Like, all right. So this is actually it's a good segue into our next topic. So this topic is more opinion piece. This is where has the gaming news gone? Because if you look up gaming news at any point in time in the last couple of months, and I'm sure for the next several months, outside of releases, 90% of all gaming news you find is even comic book news. It's, or, stuff about movies. It's all political opinion about the company doing it. Oh, hey, this company is doing bad things. I'm not going to go into too many details about those companies because they know who they are. Blizzard. And then it's now becoming like MTV Cribs. Okay. Like, what has PewDiePie spent all his fortune on? It's like, who cares? Like, okay,
Welcome
people
to my
do care.
crib.
People do
Yeah,
care
we're-
about that because, like, I'd be cool. Like, what does PewDiePie's house look like? I'd watch that, but that doesn't need to be my news feed.
I wouldn't watch it. I don't care what he. I don't need to know it.
Or like,
He has money. I'm
yeah.
sure his house is stupid cool. He's just got
yeah,
hot tub that he can play. Oh, never mind. He's against the hot tub Twitch movement. Never mind.
yeah. Speaking of which, like, that's another thing keeps popping in my feed is what's Amaranth doing today? And it's
Oh,
just
dude.
like,
Oh my God. Game Bible. They're fucking always on Amaranth and Pokemon or whatever her name is. Those two. Like,
Pokemon, yeah.
yeah, those streamers like have to pay them to just like every time I open my newsfeed, it's like, I mean, she's gorgeous. I don't mind looking at her, but I mean,
I was
it's
gonna
still
say,
the same thing. I don't care anymore.
I have zero things against these people. I'm making this clear now. Zero against these people. They are making bank doing it is whatever they're doing. Good for them. I'm tired of seeing it in my newsfeed.
Mhm.
I want to hear news about like the game mechanics of God of War. I want to hear about the game mechanics about Diablo 4. I want to hear that something's coming out that's going to blow Call of Duty off the freaking map, so Activision has to make a new game.
So to answer your question, where you said you asked where all this news is, like about the game mechanics and so on and so forth, it is in the same dumpster that Cyberpunk 2077 fell in. Because as soon as Cyberpunk launched, and they were talking all this smack about their mechanics and all that nonsense, and it found out to not be true, everyone else was just like, well, I'm not gonna say shit because if I say something and it doesn't hold to be true, I'm gonna get my ass lit on fire. So I think a lot of game companies are just playing a lot of their development close to the chest. They don't want you to know, what they're doing. That's why they're just like giving release dates, but they're also pushing shit just way the fuck out there.
I'm not talking about like pre-alpha stage. Don't give me that. Give me what you have in your beta. Like, give me that news because beta is pretty close to release.
Mhm.
I mean, there are games that do open betas, like, New World did an open beta. Most online games have some form of open beta, especially some of the lower tier or newer companies. Like 9 times out of 10, they're going to do an open beta. So you can go in and you can find that out yourself. And, I'm not technically a journalist, even though I'm reporting news and nerd culture. It's just, other people are doing it, I'm finding it and going, hey, I know a group of people that would enjoy this. So, oh yeah, the other thing is like the lack of tech availability. When are you going to get a new graphics card? When are they going to be back in stock? When's the PS5 going to be here? PS5 restock right now. Next article, PS5 restock sold out.
Sold out instantly. Yeah, I get a lot of this.
That is always the story. I've gotten to the point where I've just completely given up on a PS5. I don't even care anymore. It's like a goddamn unicorn. It's a myth.
Y'all don't even have one. You also be lying that you have one to make yourself sound cool. I never see you show the PS5. You show off the controllers. You can find the controllers anywhere.
No, I know, right? I should just go get one and just hold it up and be like, check this out.
But same thing with the Series X. I never see any restock alerts for the Series X. Have there been?
I never see anybody look for it.
No.
Like I know a lot of people that want
already looking for it.
I've looked for it. I've looked for it. I'm signed up for things for it, and I never see anything about it.
Well, the thing is like for Microsoft, like whenever they produce the Xbox, PS3, Xbox 360, Xbox One, PS4, Microsoft is never able to manufacture as many as PlayStation does. So like PlayStation, they've claimed they've already like manufactured like close to 15 million PS5s, but Xbox is, I think they're struggling to produce like 9 million, maybe 8 million Xbox Series X's and Series X's and Series S's.
Well,
like
see,
9 million in total.
I've seen Series S's on the shelves. Like I've seen those in stores on the shelves, but nobody wants a Series S.
They've realized it's not a next gen system. It's
just a
new system.
It's just a newer Xbox
It's a sidestep.
Yeah.
It's a sidestep. That's all it is.
It's an Xbox One that can do 4K.
No, it can't.
Oh no, it can't. It can't.
Are you sure?
It can't
No,
do 4K.
It caps out at 1440. It caps out at 1440.
Okay.
That's right. The PS5 digital can do 4K. Because it is just a PS5
without the disc.
Without the disc and a smaller hard drive. Figure that shit out. What kind of marketing BS is that? Yeah, it's got a smaller hard drive.
I don't think it has a smaller hard drive.
It does.
I think the
like
hard drive is
300 gigs.
No, that's a dirty lie. I'm gonna Google it right now.
Go ahead.
All right, maybe I will.
300 gigs. That is super small by today's standards.
No, I mean like 300 gigs less. It's got like a 600 gig hard drive, something like that. 600, 750, something like that. I mean, I could be very wrong. Like, I know that the Series S has a terribly small hard drive for a digital console.
Yeah.
I'm still pretty sure the PS5, both versions have the same amount of disk space. It's literally just the disk drive it just does not have the disk drive.
All right. Put foot in mouth. I'm not gonna do that on camera. We're not that kind of show.
I was gonna say, oh man, like
so bright.
Who's paying to see this?
I'm too fat to do that.
Why does it have to be so bright?
Yeah, goddamn.
Yeah, there's no difference in performance, power, or storage. It's literally just the disk drive.
All right.
Don't mess with me, son. I know my stuff.
You're a bigger PlayStation fan than I. All right. So, but yeah, so like, I mean, just like, I don't remember the last time I even got a Game Informer. I've been a freaking pro member for 20 years. I don't remember the last time I got a Game Informer.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I stopped getting that long time ago. I was like, you know what? Anything that I can find in Game Informer, I can more than likely find online.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's basically, it's Google, what's coming out soon, and you just focus target whatever you want.
I only stopped getting Game Informer just because I stopped supporting GameStop.
Fair enough. I just still have a lot of dealings going into there because it's the only real place around here to get anything I want or need outside of digital. Because like if I can get a digital, I'm just not going to leave the house. Yeah. Why put on pants if I don't have to?
You put on pants.
I mean, technically, in a sense, you don't have to, but we don't live in that type of we don't live in that type of economy.
If you go into Walmart, you don't need no pants.
That's
I mean,
true.
pants
That's true.
Pants is suggestion. That's how it's just a suggestion to wear pants.
Go in wearing like what is it? Go in wearing like a wife beater, boxers, Crocs, and a mask, and and gloves. Just freak people the hell out. What kind of person is this? They're paranoid, but not much.
It's a regular Walmart shopper is what that is.
You know what I was about to say? Have you seen people in Walmart? Oh my
That's right.
goodness.
You just described one.
It's like I shop, I work for a company that we go into these stores, and so I go into Walmart's 2 days a week in Southwest Virginia. There's some people.
That's why you came up with that description so easily, because you see it all the time.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's mostly just saying like, what did I wear the last time I went out? Low effort.
No, it's for me. Like I'm damn near Doug Funny. It's you open my closet, it's shorts, black t-shirts, and done. All right, so let's get into this here. So let's get into some more interesting things. So the White House and NASA have hired a slew of scientists. I think it's like 28 to 30, something like that, scientists and priests to determine how the populace would react if we came into contact with aliens.
I think we all know how the populace is going to react.
With the way the last couple of years went, be like, okay.
So my question is,
I think that depends on what group of people you're targeting. I think some people would have that response, and I think other people would absolutely lose their minds.
Tommy Lee Jones said it the best. Men in Black. A person is smart, intelligent, and rational. People are fucking stupid.
Yes.
I do believe that the quote was dark, dangerous animals, but all right.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I don't remember verbatim either, but like, yeah, he's like, people as a whole, people together, they're wild.
Well, when people get together, they develop this herd mentality, whether they realize it or not. Mm-hmm. And as soon as one stupid person does something, everyone usually follows suit if it seems like the right idea.
Monkey see, monkey do.
So yeah. I am getting a kick of the irony that they hired priests.
Well, I thought that was funny too when you said that. I just wasn't going to comment on it. But that's because, look, that's the country we live in. We say this is a country that's open to all religions, but let's face it, this is a Christian country first and foremost.
It is.
And that's what this country is focused on more so than anything. We just let other people do what they want without trying to shove it down their throat or, well,
we still shove it down their throat.
There's still that, but you know what I mean.
We have an area in our country called the Bible Belt, so
yeah. So
Yep.
You're definitely. It actually makes perfect sense to me they'd have priests there.
But my question is, so are they actually now somewhat admitting that aliens are actually legit?
I love that question. And I come back to this one thing when people say stuff to me all the time. So it was like a couple of years ago. There came out news that like the New York Police Department, their SWAT team, like National Guard, and a little bit of the Army, they were training how to handle a zombie apocalypse, right? Mm-hmm. They were training, and somebody said to me, someone was just that's really freaky, right? I'm like, why? They're just training. Like, if they're training for it, that means they think that it can happen, and if they think that it can happen, there's a possibility that it could fucking happen.
Yeah,
they're not going to train for something that they don't think is going to happen.
Well, I mean,
exactly.
It probably sounds dumb to just regular people, but I mean, that is how the military operates. Like, they're not just a bunch of dumbasses doing crazy shit. They're a bunch of surprisingly smart people doing crazy shit.
TCP, you want to reply to that?
no, he's right. Like the lower level people, the people like, you know, like at my rank when I got out, like the lower level people, yeah, we're stupid and we're just doing what we're told. But the people that make all the fucking decisions and all that, they're actually really fucking smart people. They're geniuses. I would not want to play chess with them because that's literally all they do. They actually play chess. They actually play chess, but with people's lives and machine guns and tanks.
That's exactly it.
And they're actually playing fucking chess. There's reasons why a lot of people
so
at the high
those
level
people
have doctorates and shit like that.
Like those people, I 100% support. It's the people above those that I'm just like, no, go away.
Yeah.
Well, there's always a ladder to climb.
But yeah, like when you're talking about like the zombie apocalypse, there actually is a fungus that reanimates the dead corpses of insects and walks them around to get other corpses so they can spread. That's an actual thing. It can't quite do it to something with, you know, muscle fiber or anything like that. So humanity is safe for the time being until that fungus evolves.
Yeah.
So like, is a zombie apocalypse possible? Not now. In 1,000
But
years?
perhaps. Mhm.
In 1,000
Possible.
years? Maybe.
Or if an alien species or, you know, virus comes out of nowhere, like Army of the Dead.
Yeah.
Possibly.
You
There's
know, I think anything that you've seen in a movie is as ridiculous as it might sound, could possibly potentially be real, depending what we're talking about. Because I think if you can imagine it, I think that it is somehow possible, somehow in the realm of reality, even if it's not in this realm of reality. Does that make any kind of sense?
Mm-hmm.
No, yeah, I mean that makes perfect sense. I mean, you pretty much took the words
Yeah.
out of my mouth. If you can imagine it, it's possible.
Yeah, it might not be something that we can interact with immediately or right now, but it might be something that exists in the future. If you believe in parallel realities, it could be something that exists parallel to where we are, and we're just not, you know, there with it, or it's here with us, whatever it is. I'm just trying to speak as openly as possible.
So,
Yeah.
It's a quantum realm.
Yeah.
well, and you had, was it Stephen Hawking? He had this theory, a black hole theory, that he believed in the parallel universe theory, where there's infinite parallel universes, and or infinite universe theory, whatever you want to call it, and that the universes that have black holes, when they collapse, will have zero history, but the universes that don't have black holes will live on for eternity, just because basically everything is going to get sucked into a black hole at some point in time. That's his theory. It wasn't well received.
Okay. I mean, I saw something that they're thinking that there is a bit of evidence to show that parallel universes are in existence.
The biggest proof that we have is the Hadron Collider, when they are finding glimpses of energy just disappearing. It's not dissipating. It's not, because within the Hadron Collider, energy has to go somewhere. And they're having traces of energy just disappearing. And so a part of me kind of gets a laugh about that, is the fact that there could be, if the parallel universe theory is true, we are just nuking some other universe by
That's literally where my mind was going. Just like, what if we're just creating nukes and we're just like, where the fuck did that go? And someone's just chilling, grabbing groceries, and all of a sudden just, oh, well, that sucks.
Yeah.
I mean, that could be somebody's reality, you know?
I mean, if it's a parallel universe theory, then that's exactly what's happening.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
So-
I want to get you a Velcro strip for that dang strap so dang
I
bad.
know, right? You know what? I've got something like that here. When we're not doing the show, I use a completely different mic, and this is how I plug it up. But other than that, it's a hassle sometimes. It's only because I keep rocking the damn table. I need a better desk and everything. That's
So
gotta get everything set up better.
I want to come back to the
side note.
to the now. Oh, okay. What's your side note? Are you saying you're done?
Oh yeah, that was it. Because every time I see him fixing it, I'm almost like, if he doesn't get a dang belt, I'll give you. I got a package of zip ties, bro. I'll give them to you.
Now.
Was it earlier this year or last year? Coming back to the White House and NASA, where they kind of they kind of just softballed it in there and just released a whole bunch of UFO documentation proving that UFOs are real. They're kind of just like, you know what? Everyone's going nuts with this coronavirus right now. Let's just drop it in real quick and pretend like nobody noticed. Nobody noticed.
It was during that entire where they just went through and just started just randomly declassifying just all kinds of shit. And they were just like, we have UFOs. We can't explain them, anything like that. It's just a thing. Just
So,
like
have
all
you noticed over,
nonchalant.
have you noticed over like the past decade or more though, they've been kind of peppering out information here and there.
Yeah.
Just casually, at just random times when it just seems like the right time to do it. And most of the time it's a perfect time, like holidays or something, when people are not paying attention. And it seems so intentional and so on purpose to release it like that. Maybe it's just because they know people are going to ignore it, or maybe it's just because they think people will see it and not take it seriously, or gosh, it's hard to say. Everybody can take it a different way.
Yeah, it might be like a little bit of information just so small that someone's just like, oh yeah, I already knew that. But, So like what they're doing, they're microdosing us for alien life being real. So like, I mean, like hiring a priest. So like the thing is, like, when they hire a priest, because like if we prove, or if they actually come out and say like, yes, alien life form, life that is not from the planet Earth exists, that's gonna fuck up Christians. It's gonna fuck them the fuck up.
It's gonna put a big hole in their whole story.
It will and it won't. It will and it won't.
Yes,
because you're gonna have those, I mean, it's even part of how I believe, and it's the Big Bang. Earth is not the only planet in the Goldilocks zone. That's within within visible distance. It is not the only planet within the Goldilocks zone. It's the only planet we can reach, but and for those of you who know, who don't know, the Goldilocks zone is the space between the planet and the star that allows the planet to be able to sustain life. We have, proof from Mars that there was at one point water on Mars. That's a thing.
I remember that.
I think Mars is, and Mars is still in the Goldilocks zone.
Yeah.
It's just a lifeless planet
from
what we know.
We don't know what happened there. We don't know if it just never developed life. We're not to that point yet. We don't have the technology to send over there to dig 100 feet down and figure out everything that's going on with the planet. It could just be a big red ball that had ice on it at one point. Because two of the most common elements in the universe are hydrogen and oxygen. And there are just clouds of just hydrogen and oxygen just floating out there. And so they collide, they create shards of ice, they rain down on planets. That's the thing that happens. You ever have that like moment where you're just like, man, I know a lot more about this crap than I thought I did.
And this is that moment. Did that moment click?
I'm just like, huh. All right.
I should have been an astrophysicist.
Right? Like, I was telling TCP the other day before he told me that he can't read. It's like one of my favorite books was just for like light reading was Tyson's Astrophysics for People in a Hurry. It basically goes over the entirety of the science behind astrophysics without the math, because I can't do the math that I'm aware of. I haven't tried, but I stopped doing math in middle school, so that's the thing. No, I think this is, I think you're right. It's around that like microdosing thing. It's like they are getting us ready for something to happen. conspiracy theorist or not, it's, how much of that is actual coincidence? Like, do you actually believe in coincidence?
I believe coincidences can and do happen, but I don't think that that's what we're always dealing with.
Like, I'm not a big Roswell conspiracy theorist or anything like that, but
No.
it's or the that alien autopsy video that leaked out 15 years ago. Like, I don't believe any of that. It's just, do I believe that there is a chance for other life in the universe? Absolutely. As I said, Earth is not the only planet within the Goldilocks zone that we can perceive. So, the known universe is billions of light years across. So, yeah. So, but that being said, the Christian faith will adapt. There will be people who have an extreme crisis of faith. I do believe that. But I do believe that the Christian faith will adapt just due to the fact of how Genesis is worded and how
it's very cleverly worded.
Yeah.
They cleverly word everything just the right way so that it can be twisted just in case something didn't work out.
Mhm.
And of course, they'll always...
We thought about that.
Yeah, and it's not necessarily, your average person's, perception and interpretation of the Bible. They mainly go off, the popes and, their pastors and whoever's, preach to them their interpretation of the Bible. That's like, it's happened many times where, the Pope, one Pope has said one thing about, a certain passage and another Pope has said a different thing. Just whoever's in charge at the time is what they go with.
Yeah.
Yeah, didn't speaking of the Pope, didn't the most recent Pope, like so many years ago, say something along the lines of like alien life potentially existing or something like that?
That was
Do you
the
recall
last
anything like
Pope.
that?
That was the last.
Was
Pope.
that who
Yeah.
it was? Okay, so yeah, I recall something like that. I couldn't remember. I thought it was the most recent one, but
no. Our current Pope, or not our Pope, but like the current Pope.
The Pope, yeah.
Yeah, the Pope. Like, he does TikTok. So.
Yeah.
He has a TikTok?
I don't know, but it wouldn't surprise me.
I wouldn't be surprised.
All right, so this is going to lead to our last topical conversation here. Am I using that word correctly?
What's that?
Topical. We are going to have a conversation about a topic. Is that not a topical conversation? Am I using that correctly, or am I just illiterate?
No, that's how I would say it.
Are you using topical as like in exchange for opinionated?
Yes and no. I'm more or less putting it as topical because we're going to have a topic on a discussion on a topic which will entail opinions, especially this next one. With like the last one had a lot of facts, so there were, it was definitely a lot of opinion, but there were also facts based in there.
Okay, yeah, I got you.
So
topical of a subject of immediate relevance, interest, or importance owing to its relation to current events.
Okay, so we're just not doing the whole current event. Well, actually, we just did current events. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
actually,
this next one's good. Like, yeah, I'm smart. He's like, I'm smart.
Like, all right. It's like I don't English. Okay, like I'm American, so like I know English. All right. So our next topical conversations is: should human beings, as a species, expand outside the Earth? I think me and Solips have a very aligned opinion on this. If you want to take that one away.
I personally think, I think as a human species, we should focus on eventually trying to get off this rock, because if everything that we're currently looking at right now is true, and this planet is slowly dying, and it's trying to get us off of it, we need to get off of it. I mean, our generation's probably never going to have to worry about this, honestly, but future generations, I mean, they're going to be fucked, and it's going to be on them.
Yeah.
So are you talking about as in getting off of the rock, as in like
this planet,
literally living on a different planet? or just
I mean, I'm not.
exploring?
I am
Well,
of the
look,
opinion
that's
that we
not for me
should.
to know the answer to. I just know that at some point in time, I feel like as humans, we're gonna have to figure something out. I think it's kind of like bacteria life. You know, we need to learn how to spread out and get outside of our host and find another host, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. So I'm a little bit different there. And I'm going to say a very, very taboo word for a white person to say. I do believe that we should expand and colonize other planets and move on from there.
Colonize.
So sorry, people.
Well,
But
as a species, though, I mean I think that's the right idea to have.
So I'm a little bit in agreement. I'll say it this way. So you are 100% correct. At some point, we would definitely need to leave this rock. If humans want the human race to continue, we will definitely need to expand out to, because I mean we're overpopulating the planet as it is.
Actually, research has been done on that. So I knew this was going to come up in the whole population thing. Research has been done on that. With the current birth death ratio, the world population will cap out at 9 billion people. It will not be able to exceed that with the current birth death ratio.
Yeah.
So we will plateau. We will hard plateau like 9 billion people, and the earth can sustain 9 billion people. We're not having trouble sustaining society now. The trouble we're having is having different societies agree on sustainability. That's the big issue we're having there.
But the other long-term issue that we're going to have to worry about as a species is the fact that our sun is not going to always be there. It will eventually burn out. And when that happens,
millions of years down the road.
I believe that
does the human species plan to continue to exist that long? I would think so, right?
I would hope so.
They plan to, but it won't.
They'll strive. They'll try.
Actually, the Earth is due for another cataclysmic event. If you go through Earth history, around it's 12 to 15,000 years, there is a massive cataclysm event that just wipes out all life and it starts over. And
no, you're absolutely right.
We're at 13,000 right now since the last one. Because we had the big biblical flood that got rid of Atlantis and all that other.
Yeah.
No, you're good. All the what are they? I'm trying to remember the ancient race from Assassin's Creed now.
Oh, the Sumerians. Well, not from Assassin's Creed, but I know. Okay, you're talking about that. No,
I can't remember.
The first recorded human civilization was the Sumerians.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
But
so I mean,
go ahead.
So yes, the human race will definitely
Okay.
I think they will need to leave this planet, and go somewhere. I mean, of course, the first step is Mars, and then maybe Titan, and then slowly, branching out from there. Because I mean, it's going to take us a good amount of time.
Is Titan habitable?
They believe there's life on Titan now.
Well,
or is it Europa? Europa, they believe there's life on Europa.
Yeah, Europa's an ice ball moon. So
now, when you guys imagine the human race, branching out, do you imagine that being all of the human race, or a good portion of the human race, or just the rich ones that can actually make their way out?
It'll start with the rich ones.
It definitely will start with the rich ones.
It'll start that way, but I feel like it'll end that way too.
It will end that way too, because the
rich ones will be the smart ones.
Yes, that's what I'm going to say.
And once the smart ones are gone, nobody else will be smart enough to figure out possibly how to do it.
If you look at capitalistic consumption for consumers, the trend is something new will happen. Only the rich can afford it. And then
that's it.
So flat screen TVs, when they came out, they were $15,000-$20,000 when they first came out.
Oh yeah. Now everybody can get one.
Yeah. Now you can go down to Walmart and buy one for $500. So, that's how that works. Is only the rich can afford it, and then middle class can afford it, and then everybody has it.
Yeah.
So I do believe you're right. It will start with the rich, and then when everybody has it, then something will happen, and only the rich can finish it.
Yeah.
Like only the rich will be like, yeah, well, I got $1 billion, so I'm on that rocket.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So I mean,
Well,
every disaster movie ever made, they already showed that that's what's going to happen. They're going to take the smart people that were able to make it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They're going to take the smart people that are going to be necessary to make, new things. Like, once time resets or they get wherever they need, and then they need the rich there because the rich are the ones funding it.
Yeah,
Exactly. That's just the way it works.
And so.
Wrath, I hope I'll be right there with you, man.
What do you say?
I'll be on that rocket. It's like, knowing him, he'll luck out and get a rich man seat. He ain't gonna get the smart seat, but he'll get the rich man seat.
Yeah, you gotta buy another ticket for me, bud. 2 tickets.
They'll probably put it out like the lottery. They'll probably put it out like the lottery.
See,
If you want an actual seat, they'll probably put it out like the lottery.
you think
where
they would
you
do
can
that?
have
But like,
option.
someone's gonna be too smart. Like, why would you risk the chance? I'm gonna be a little fucked up with what I'm about to say. Why would you risk the chance of having someone who is not gonna be able to pull their weight, both either financially or intellectually? Why would you give them a seat?
I wouldn't.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when it
And
comes
that's
to a
coming
situation
from
like that,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't give that person a seat, and that's coming from somebody who's historically a Jew. So,
So yeah, I mean, I don't imagine they might say they're going to be doing a lottery, but they'll do a lottery, but they'll
it'll
they'll
be
influence-
selective
they'll-
lottery.
they'll still have a lot of influence, whether
Yeah.
whose name
You
goes in
know-
the lottery.
So,
or
okay,
who gets selected from the lottery.
Which do you think will
And-
come first, though? Full space travel and colonization of other habitable planetoids, or
An extinction level event.
well, that's more than likely in
Okay.
with the way things are going. It's a cataclysmic event is like
Okay.
it's never not going to happen. The chance of it happening is never zero.
Oh yeah.
Because actually,
Sorry,
I
I
think
didn't-
there's last I heard there was actually a asteroid on the collision course with Earth. They just don't know where it is.
They say that all the time.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, it's gonna hit us this year, and I'm like, please, and then it doesn't happen. I'm
Right.
just like, fuck.
It's influence.
Dodge another one.
Come on, man. That's what I'm rooting for. Meteor 2024, man. That's who
Oh.
I'm electing. God damn it.
But it's funny that we're having this conversation because talking about rich people and space travel now. I mean, there's already a couple rich guys right now working on space travel.
And,
Bezos and that other
let
rich
him do
guy, I
it.
forgot his name.
I will
No,
I will never complain about a rich person doing something to expand human capability.
That's
Yeah.
fair. When you put it that way,
Well,
that's
I
fair.
mean, honestly, no rich guy is ever going to be a great guy anyway. He's just going to be a rich guy. He's just
Yeah.
the
He's just
guy
gonna
that
be
can
a rich
fund it
guy.
all.
Like,
Yeah, I mean, we'll just simply have to take advantage of what he's doing.
Yeah.
And try to
He's
make the best of it, I guess.
Riding his coattails.
So-
Yeah.
now I don't believe that they should dump all of their excess funds into that. If you have the ability by yourself to, I don't know, end poverty, maybe work on that a bit. But at the same time, keep doing what you're doing, because eventually that will lead into the, like I said, the expansion of the possibility of the humankind. But on to what I was saying earlier, do you believe that we will attempt to colonize other planetoids or get to a point that we could space travel within economically feasible means of like farming the asteroid belt for minerals?
Okay, that's where I figured you were going. I think it's going to be a combination of both. I think we'll probably do both at the same time. Because we're already trying to do both at the same time. We're already trying to farm comets and asteroids as they pass by. Because I mean, we're NASA and SpaceX. They've already done missions where they've landed probes on comets and asteroids that have shot by. So now we're like, okay, now we know it's possible. We've we have a probe on there. So now we know we can get there and we know we can land on there, reasonably safely. So now we just got to send,
which is
now we can
very
just
impressive.
send mining drones. Yeah, that's super impressive. We can send mining drones, but like, you also had to think about it, like, it's also gonna be tough to mine, I guess, with our current resources, because it costs billions of dollars. It costs them billions of dollars to send a probe to land, just to land there. Now
But
you have to be able to send that
eventually-
probe back, but you also have to be able to. So now you have to send that probe out there. You have to be able to have that probe get back, but now you also have to have that probe be able to bring back enough resources to balance out the cost, if not, exceed the cost of being able to send the probe out there, gather up all that shit, all that weight, all that mass, and bring it back.
So that is, like I said earlier, that would be something that becomes cheaper the more it becomes viable.
Mm-hmm. And it will be cheaper to develop the technology to do it. The fuel in doing it is what's going to be the problem. That's also like one reason like we don't like send people to Mars. It's not that we don't have the technology to send them to Mars. It's the fuel to get people there in a decent
Which is
amount
why
of time.
we need to come up with a different form. Like, I mean, gosh, what is it? Hydrogen can go for freaking ever. So like, I just don't know how that would burn in space.
Yeah.
Well, one thing that we may try taking advantage of more so as technology continues to advance in the way that it is, I think robotics are going to become more and more important, probably with space travel. Because, I mean, we already got rovers on Mars right now, or a rover, I guess. And, that's just one. And, I mean, that thing's huge, and it's designed for what they sent it out there for. But, I mean, we already got, like, these robots now. What is it? Boston Dynamics. They make those spot robots or whatever that look like dogs with like an arm for a head. You know what I'm talking about? That's just the start, and those things are pretty efficient from what I can see.
Yeah.
Tesla's trying to get androids into people's homes this year.
Yeah, so I mean, if they can send stuff like that out there that can move around in the way that a person would need to, I mean, I feel like that would be cheaper right there than sending a person out there. So you wouldn't have to feed the person. You wouldn't have to worry about them,
Well, yeah, that's the thing too.
needing
Is
any
like
sort
if
of
you're going to
care
be
or
doing
maintenance.
Radiation poisoning is another thing too, for being in outer space for that amount of time.
Yeah.
That's why we don't have
that
people.
as well.
I think the longest person someone's been on the International Space Station has been almost like exactly 365 days. But the radiation poisoning, I don't think they had anything too bad, but when they came back to Earth, they were not in a great condition.
It's what it has to do with the microwaves from the sun, something like that.
Yeah, and just, I mean, even though space is empty, space is just filled with radiation.
It is, because the majority of all light supplied to the universe is from burning balls of gas. So that is billions of degrees hot. There's going to be some backlash if you get too close. Like the one thing that protects us here. Do what?
So just a little bit of backlash.
Yeah. Like, I mean, the one thing that protects us here is our atmosphere, whatever's left of it. That's why, we can survive in the open, which is something that they don't have on Mars, which is why we need to, that's why they're planning on working on terraforming it and things like that. And can it sustain life? If it can sustain life, then we can build an ozone and move on from there. And also, I actually haven't looked into that. What is the gravity rating on it compared to Earth? Is it higher
or Mars's?
Yeah.
It's a little bit. It's lower.
Yeah.
It's not as strong. It's in between.
You would feel lighter there, I think.
Not
a lot lighter, but somewhat,
you never saw the movie John Carter? John Carter of Mars?
No. No.
Oh, you didn't? So like he's a human, like he gets sent to Mars. He like discovers a portal or whatever, and like there's people on Mars, This takes place in like the 1920s or whatever. But he goes to Mars and like there's people on Mars and everything, but he's fucking super strong. Like he's One Punch Man on Mars because the gravity.
Just a regular guy.
Yeah, even though he's just a regular guy, because the gravity is lesser. So like lifting 500 pounds on Earth, if you lift that on Mars, it's like, I don't know, what, 20 pounds. Okay, it's not that exactly, but like, the concept is there.
Okay.
It made him seem like a beast when he was there.
Yeah, man, he's like Superman. He could jump for miles as distance, and he could just fight the shit out of people. It wasn't that great of a movie. It's still a decent movie. I think it's on Disney Plus. I think Disney made it. But it's an entertaining movie, It's
like,
got a
from
princess.
my understanding is like it didn't follow the books.
No, it was just trying to be a fun movie.
Yeah, it was just.
It had some interesting concepts though.
Yeah. It was really cool. I enjoyed it. I don't want to watch it again now. but so I mean, it's based on. I mean, most of the gravity is going to be based on the size of the planet and its mass, and Mars is in between. I don't think that its speed of its rotation would affect its gravity.
It does a bit. Its gravity is like mass times velocity, yada 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 yada.
Yeah, but it's like Mars is smaller than Venus, I think, and Venus is slightly smaller than Earth. It's between Mars. Mars is between Earth and Mercury, not physically, but size-wise.
Size, yeah. Okay. I mean, the fact though is that we went within my own lifetime. Just the current rate of technology has been mind blowing. It's like a lot of things that people step back, like if they take for granted everything that they have on the day to day, not knowing where the world was just 30 years ago.
We didn't even have cell phones.
No cell phones. Like Google wasn't a thing. If you wanted to make a phone call, you went to the phone. It was attached to the wall. When I was a kid, like we were just excited to hear about a rocket launch, and half of them blew
so
up.
Cool. Fair.
Yeah, we're super spoiled nowadays. Like everything is like literally at our fingertips, and because everything's so easily available, it's kind of easy to not really be amazed by anything.
Yeah.
It's also like one reason why people think we didn't go to the moon is because of the technology has advanced so well. But like they claim that the computer only needed like 4 megabytes worth of RAM to land people on the moon.
Yeah.
Goodness. Yeah.
But I'm like, if you think about it, like the overhead of the computer is not that serious. I mean, it was just literally just ones and zeros. What they were doing, they're pushing a button to say yes or no, and that was it. Like the computer wasn't doing crazy shit like the computers that we have nowadays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But of course, like with the increase of technology comes the increase of cost, and so the cost to go back to the moon is just no one has found it worth it yet. It's not that we can't. We're just trying to justify the cost.
Well, it's like even with visual technology, you can go down to your local store and buy a telescope that's powerful enough to look at the freaking moon, like to like pull it up and see the divots and the terrain.
Yeah.
And I didn't have that. Like you needed like the Hubble telescope to be able to do that before.
Speaking of which, the James Webb telescope launched. I realized what they're doing with the James Webb telescope. Its orbit, it's fucking wild. So I wonder if I could share. Like I saw a video of it, and I kind of want to share it to y'all if I could fucking find it. Where did I see that? Dude, so there's a point. They're calling it there's a specific name for it, but it's called the L2 point. And so like it's a couple million miles, not a million, but it's a couple tens of thousand miles away from Earth, just out in the distance. I think it's going to be like on the far side of Earth in comparison to the sun. So there's going to be a point out there, and it's going to be a point out there, and the telescope's going to orbit that point outside of Earth, and just it would stay on the outside of edge of Earth as Earth goes around the sun. But it's also going to be orbiting that point. So I had to show you the video. Sorry.
All right. So it's basically going to be like continuously filming at one specific point and just getting clearer and clearer, right?
Right, but he's going to stay out there.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Yeah.
Okay. So
keep talking about I'll actually look and find it.
We're going to go ahead and wrap this up right now because we've been going for nearly an hour and a half. So thank you everybody for coming and watching. We hope you had a good time. We will see you next week. Let me know how you felt about these more topical issues if you decide. I actually really enjoy these conversations. This is more in line with what I originally had in mind, but
this was my favorite. Sorry, continue.
So, like, you know, and I want the show to continue and grow. And I'm not doing this for like rags to riches story. I'm doing this for, sit down with a couple of friends, get opinions based on certain things, and just leave the real world out there somewhere. So thank you all for coming and watching.